taking shots at the enemy. I'm gonna make it to the top, leave a legacy. If I got something to say, you better let me speak. Turn it up a new degree, bitch, you ain't seen anything. I pop off with the new rock, electronic, blow the sonic roof up. I'm too honest when I take a few shots. They're too toxic, need to take the noose off. And you cannot save me, cause I don't need saving. It's everything I've been chasing, all here for the taking. Don't wanna test your luck with me, I think I've had enough disease. I'm sick of all the bad thoughts, people who are half-nots. You are not as tough that you never guess. I don't slack, don't lose, learn your lesson yet. When I get to choose what I do, I'm like a weapon. I'm not sharp as many, but got hard, I'm ready to change. Scars to envy, to win large and plenty. I like to play fast, never change back. Calling out, I'll pay back, cause I'm great at that. Oh, you cannot save me, cause I don't need saving. It's everything I've been chasing, all here for the taking. Don't wanna test your luck with me, I think I've had enough disease. I'm sick of all the bad thoughts, people who are half-nots. You are not as tough though. Don't wanna test your luck with me, I think I've had enough disease. I'm sick of all the bad thoughts, people who are half-nots, who are not as tough as me. Don't wanna test your luck with me, I think I've had enough disease. I'm sick of all the bad thoughts, people who are half-nots, who are not as tough as me. I feel nauseous, believe me. Never had a lot of shit come easy. They call me a god. 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 Let's go. I'm about to go off like a weapon. Fuel to the top, got a filled up engine. In my thoughts, obsession, I will not stop, no, I'm never second guessing. I got a God complex, haters love to hate, but I never feel pressed. Got a lot on my plate, but I never get stressed. I'll take all the pressure like I'm acing this test. Oh, tear it up like I'm Jason. I see the world like it's ready for the taking. I see this place like a game I'm playing. Straight to the bank to collect my payments. No negotiations, it's my way, I was born impatient. And like a damn Freemason, I'll run this nation. They call me a god. 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 I don't know how to stop, I just go till I drop. Whether it's working or shots, give it all that I got. You can watch me work in my element. Anyone in the way is irrelevant. You wanna cross me, cool, not intelligent, cause I don't forget shit like an elephant. Go ahead and tempt me, put it on the line and you'll come up empty. If I got time, I'm deadly. Never caught off guard, no, I'm always ready. I got a hand real steady. Look me in the eye and you'll see no hezzy. About to get real messy, I'll put you in a grave 6 feet like Kenny. Call me I'm never second guessing. I got a God complex. Haters
What
love to
up,
hate, but I never
Nine?
feel pressed. Got a lot on my plate, but I never get stressed.
Trapaholics Mixtapes.
As the 9% and word would say, make a better you, a better us.
Fuck being rational, give them what they ask for.
Who do you think you are? I'm the word. Boy, I'm the one who put in the work.
When I move, is it a quick rumble? I will never ever fall, never stumble. And I don't need to be humble. Break down walls like Jericho crumble.
What up, though? It's the word. You see the title we about to get into. But before we do that, do me a favor, hit that like, and if you're new, hit that subscribe. It's free to you, but it mean the world to me. All right. Appreciate everybody in the chat. Chris, what it do with the businesses, fam? What up, Edward? What up, man? Hey, man. Uh, I need to have a conversation with him. I got to recalibrate my brain. I got to shout out to Missing Mind. She had a good show. It was funny. It was entertaining. And just, I'm gonna be honest with you, at the beginning, when she was just talking, she was calling it ranting, but she was just, expressing the way she felt about different things. I was really digging it, right? Because it's her perception. But, she got a mixed crowd over there. You got people who believe in everything. And she give them the platform to have the discussion. But sometimes, man, some of the people be saying, it'd be like brain rot, bro. It'd be like brain rot. It's, we had this discussion for when I was talking about how you intake things. When we usually, generally, when you think of intaking, you're thinking of eating something, right? Something physical. You're thinking of physical action, how you intake something into your body, right? Whether it's eating, injecting, smoke, whatever it is, you physically taking it. But what people don't understand is that same process, like if you put something good in your body, you get good results in your body, right? But if you put something bad in your body, you get bad results. The more sugar and processed food, it's stored to fat. That's what it do. So it might be cool when you're younger, but when you get older, metabolism slow down, and your body can't break it down as fast. So then you get fat, right? That's just how it works. Same thing with word, right? Same thing. It can either stimulate your mind or it can rot your mind, right? And a lot of people ain't hit to that concept, right? They just not. That's why people get manipulated, taken advantage of. That's why all this stuff happens because they don't know how to intake the information properly. They intake the wrong information. They accept things that shouldn't be accepted. And once you accept it, you develop beliefs and all. So anyway, just even listening to conversations, watching things, any form of entertainment, if it's music, any of that, man, it has the possibility to affect you. And if you're not aware of it, you'll never know how it's affecting you, right? You'll never know. This is why social programming works. This is why, like I said, manipulation on small scales and large scales, right? Social engineering. This is why all this is prevalent, because we just accept things that's not nutritious or a quality of value is if it's mentally, it can be physically, or it can be spiritually. Right? So yeah, I gotta get my I gotta recalibrate my brain. So, yeah, they was just they it's just I don't know. Instead of really having genuine conversations, like my to tell you, like people just want to be smart and shit. They just want to be smart. Everybody want to be right about something. Right. Only thing I know I'm right about is what I'm right about, and that's me. And that's why I talk about me. And some things like I talk religion, but even when we do that, we got information. Like we put information up, and we had conversations. You know what I'm saying? We had conversation, but it's not. We don't. I never weaponize religion because I'm not a religious person, first of all, but I do have a relationship with God. So I don't say I'm a believer. I say I'm a knower. Right? I don't fuck with none of those social constructs. None of them. I don't fuck with no social construct. Everybody like I was just thinking. I was telling my wife this. I said even when you think about like kids, right? Kids need structure. They need guidance. They need to be educated. All right, that's what kids need. But as they grow up, they begin to do the same. Right? Some people do. Some people begin to nurture, educate, and give other structure. And some people they need to be structured and nurtured their whole life. That's why I say most people are sheep, very few people are herders, and even less are goats. If you know anything about the sheep, the herder, and the goat, the sheep follow the herder. The herder herd the sheep, but the goats carve their own path. Goats are the only animals, like four-legged animals that's climbing mountains and shit, right? Climbing the sides of mountains, not just climbing them, but climbing the sides. That's what goats do. They sit up and perch high and look down, and they observe. Some people do that. I'm more of the goat type, right? But it's some people. What I'm saying is everybody don't need to be talking. Everybody ain't herders or goats. Goats don't really talk too much. They don't really care what you believe, what you think. Not a goat. 'Cause they didn't deserve the world, and they know it's different for everybody. Everybody will have a similar but a different experience here. We go experience similar things, and we go interpret them different. That's what's going to happen. Right? That's just what is going to happen. It don't matter if it's right or wrong. Most people get fixated on the concept of what's right, what's wrong, instead of understanding what exists. Because everything have a purpose. And once you understand that things exist for example, religion. You know why multiple religions exist? I'm gonna give you an easy answer. I ain't gonna make it philosophical or nothing like that. But do you know why multiple religions exist? Because multiple people exist. That's why. That's why everybody believes in something different, and it's predicated on one. It's predicated on a couple facts, right? Either you was born into it, or you found it and you resonated with it. That's why. So, like, what people believe in, I'd be more interested in not what they believe in, but how they practice it, and if they practice it, if it make them better people. That's what I'm more interested in. I don't care what nobody believes in. I'm more interested in is it making you a better person? Right? Is your beliefs making you a better person? If they not, then like what's the purpose? That's how I look at it. I would like if I debate religion, the aspect of religion I would love to debate. How does that work out in your like any of this all this religion? How do it make you a better person? If you don't believe in God, does that make you a better person? And if it do, then who am I to bother you? You here for your experience, just like I'm here for mine. But see, this be the problem. And see, look, so many things happen on a subconscious level, and people don't truly know what an ego is. I don't know how many times I have to break it down. People don't really. Your ego, it functions on the subconscious level, first of all. Second of all, it's there to protect you. But the problem is sometimes, like the ego don't know what's right. Ego don't think about what's right or wrong, right? It just think about, does this make you feel good or does this make you feel bad? That's all your ego recognize. So you have to kind of program, and this is what I'm saying with the ego and the subconscious and the eagerness for validation. When you believe in something, you believe in it, but it's always doubt involved with belief because you accepting something without evidence. You accepting it, and even when you try to find or provide the evidence, a lot of it don't add up. And what happens is you doubt things. So how do you feel that hole that doubt creates? You seek other people to validate your belief, and that's how most people function. That's why people argue about shit. That's why people get triggered when other people don't accept their belief. People get fucking triggered. Like, damn, I don't expect you to get triggered because I have an opinion or I have an alternate experience than you. Why would you get triggered? But that's what happens. That's what occurs. People get triggered off of other people's opinions and beliefs. And when that happens, it's because their ego kicks in. And their ego kicks in because they have doubt. And that doubt makes them weary. It makes them weary. It invalidates their belief. And that they don't feel good about it. So the ego kicks in. The ego is there to protect you. So shit gonna happen. Right? You're gonna get defensive, you're gonna get combative. It happens, right? But that's why I never argue. Like it's a couple things. I feel like you shouldn't do, right. You should not invalidate someone's personal experience. You shouldn't do that. So that's why, like, when people have different beliefs or different stance in life, I'll be like, that's for them. Now, it's that I feel so comfortable with myself, I don't need them to accept my belief. Even if they say that's stupid, that's wrong, I'd be like, okay, it's stupid or wrong for you, but not for me. It works for me. I have the proof. I'm at peace. I'm at peace. So I have the proof that what I believe or what I know works for me. Now, it might not work for you. Why? Because my personal experience developed me differently. That's why you got all these. This the sad thing, right? Think about this. Any social construct we have, or religion, race, any of that shit, somebody made up. Somebody made that shit up. Somebody started it, right? Somebody did. So if they did, why can't you? Most people don't even think about that. They don't think like that. They just find something that they feel they can fall into or fit, something that fits them. Instead of saying, "Hey, I'm gonna define myself." That's why I say everybody. Most people are sheep. Most people, they need to be led. They need to be structured. They need to be guided. I believe everyone at some point needed, but somebody has to continue the process. Meaning somebody has to be there to herd. Somebody has to do it. That's why you have, like, even you like have people defend something that they don't even they oh man, I ain't trying to talk about that all the Charlie Kirk shit. But even like, think about any great leader. Everybody has flaws, right? Everybody has flaws. So even think about any great leader. When you speak about the flaw, people try to justify or make it right. Chris, what up, though, my guy?
Hey,
What up?
what's up, man? How you doing tonight?
I'm loving life, brother. What's up?
Not much. Just went on my lunch break at work. Had to eat some pizza real quick, and I seen you was on the live stream. Figured I'd hop on, see what you're talking about tonight.
I appreciate that, bro. I'm talking about anything. I was over at Missing Mind channel and they was arguing. It was some atheists and Christians going at it. I'm like, bro, like
Oh yeah,
I be thinking like this like me, I don't put myself in the category of none of it. But I feel like this,
dang.
whatever you practice, if it make you a better person, then that's good for you. That should be the
Yep,
goal, right? What
yep,
so if it does if it works, then it works. I have no grace in it. You know what I'm saying? I don't preach or oppose my beliefs on anyone because I don't even think the way I believe and see things, it most people ain't gonna be able to comprehend it or understand it. So it's like that's for me. That's what works for me. It might not work for them.
no, yep, yep, man. I totally understand that. Like I'm in a little bit different of a place. Like I'm in a weird place to where I I don't believe that life just popped up out of the pond scum. You know what I mean? So like part of me does think that as a whole, life was created by something. But like at the same time, just because that I think that we were created by something, I don't think that that necessarily means that it has to be what some people call God. But I am with you that if religion's used in the right way, it can make, strong communities. It can build strong ties. I have no issues with people believing what they want to believe.
Yeah, that's how I look at it, man. And I grew up. Uh, I practiced when I was young. I practiced some of my spirituality and native roots, but as I got older, I moved to Detroit. Then I started practicing like heavy, like I don't even want to say Christianity because my step uh my it was my grandfather, but it was my stepdad's father. Like he was the bishop, and he introduced me to like Gnostic texts and alternate texts and everything. So it wasn't
Yeah.
like he was like a Christian, but he taught me everything. So, and he taught me in a way, it was more of a metaphysical way than a physical way, right?
Man, some
So
of those Gnostic texts they get pretty. I honestly like listening to some of them. There's a lot of like the Ethiopian Christians and stuff. Some of their books,
oh
man, they
yeah,
got really good books and stuff that I like. Listening to shows about and stuff.
yeah, man, I'm telling you, it gives you a whole different perception. Like I look at a lot of these, like the three main religions, I look at them like kindergarten, like starter. Like this is to get you going, right? Because there's so many questions left. And if you
Yep.
seek, you shall find. If you ask the question, you might get the answer. Then you start looking at these other texts. And not only that, like I done studied uh like Kemetic science, I done studied Buddhism, Hinduism, and all these are older than biblical. And you start
Are you
synchronizing
there?
the same similarities and shit. Like, okay. So I look at religion like this. It is a perception. So if you look at all these religions, the reason they have similarities because they tell it almost the same story, just a different way from their perception, from their
Yep.
experiences. So,
Yep.
you know,
And I also feel like, I mean, it's something that's really hard to prove. But if you just look at the times that all these different books were written in, a lot of them, man, just kind of go with the whole political landscape of the area they were
mhm,
written in. You know what I mean? Like,
mhm.
there's a lot of people that think that that's why so much changed from the Old to the New Testament. Because politically wise, it was they kind of had to do it because of everything that was going on at that point in time.
It honestly is a form of control, no matter how you look at it. I mean, you can look at it the nice way and say it gives you structure, but structure is meant to keep you in check. That's
Yep.
what a structure do. It keeps things in and keep things out. You know what I'm saying? So it's still a form of control. So you're right. I mean, even when you look at like when they were structured, when they was created, how they was used. You know what I'm saying? Look at what it's saying. And then this was like I got a theology degree, so I had to study like the history. And when I started looking at that, bro, I'm like, hold on, man, this was it makes sense. Like why this says this and why this lines up with this. Like when you said what was going on politically, you know, just it politically, the strikes that people had in the time.
Yep.
So it is a lot of things affected the way um, things were structured.
Yep. Yep. I just actually, you know what? I just watched a show last night. It was the second time that I've watched it, but I haven't watched it since it first came out about 3, 4 years ago. Have you heard of the documentary? It's called I think it's Destroy All Man. Hang on a second. Destroy all the It was Destroy All the Brutes. That's it. Destroy all the brutes or exterminate the brutes. But basically it was a 4-part documentary. It's on HBO Max, and it goes through almost I want to say the evolution of racism from from the time to where slaves were slaves, not so much based on their race, to when it started turning over more of you seen slavery based on race. Uh,
Um,
I know I'm not really wording that right, but he was touching on some stuff like that during that documentary I was listening to last night. It's about 4 hours long. It's a really good listen, but it's about 4 hours though.
and see, like even that, like when you like original slavery was indentured servitude, right? And usually it came because people were prisoners of war or they were conquered or they sold their soul. You know, well the slavery that we know today came from like people being prisoners of war or being conquered. But before prior to that, it was indentured servitude, where you can work your way out or pay your way out. And like the way it evolved, it developed because of race. Like slavery wasn't racist at first. Like it was you was basically unfortunate, you know. Either
Yeah.
you lost or you didn't have anything, you needed a way to make a way, you know. So that's interesting. I'm gonna watch that. He says on HBO Max.
Yeah, yeah, yep. It's on HBO, man. I just watched it last night. I'm pretty sure when it first came out, it was called something like Exterminate the Whites, and I think people got a little hurt over that, you know what I mean? And they changed it to Brutes, but they didn't change nothing about the show though. And really, man, like the guy's not even really hating on white people. You know how some conservatives, when they start talking about, the reverse racism, like he's not even like he's just literally he's talking about the history of slavery and how slavery changed from 2,000 years ago to 500 years ago, all the way up to modern times. You know what I mean? Like, everybody's guilty of slavery. It's somewhere throughout history. You know what I mean? But
Mhm.
so, I mean, there's nothing. But other than them changing the name, it's still the same one. I just haven't watched it since it
Yeah,
first
I
came
see
out.
it right here. I just put it on my watch list. I see it right here.
Oh man,
Exterminate all the brutes.
yep, that's it right there, man. That's a good one. You should be honestly within the first 5 minutes. You're like, oh yeah, this is gonna be good, and it really is, man. It's really worth watching. The dude breaks it down really well.
That's dope. I'm gonna check that up. Yeah, man. I don't that it's so crazy, man. Like having kids and like just watching them grow up and like me having to explain because my son is half black, half Middle Eastern. So he gonna catch a lot of hell, but we live in the diverse area, right? But his cousin is white and Middle Eastern. And it's people were saying stuff there that she didn't understand. And I was like, it take me back to my childhood because I grew up in a diverse area. Like everybody was like, yeah, I came from a steel mill town, like a little small town, so a whole bunch of different races. People came there to work. So
Right.
like growing up, I didn't know about racism, bro, until I watched Roots as a kid. Like I think I was like 7 years old, and after I watched that, it's like little shit people said, it looked different. Like
Yeah.
when they used to call me Blackie prior to me watching Roots, it didn't. I'm like, okay, I'm black. You know, I'm dark. I didn't think
Yep.
nothing of it. But after watching that, it was like, hold on, bro. Like,
Yep.
so,
Yep.
I always say ignorance is bliss until you got to pay for it. But
Mhm.
that's what ignorance is. You just been MC Nemesis. I don't think I know you. But hold on, give me one second. You know MC Nemesis?
I don't know.
Hold on one second. Yo.
Hey, how you niggers doing?
Yeah, I knew that was gonna probably happen.
Oh, like, damn.
Yeah. I was used to it, bro.
Not even
Yeah.
willing to have a discussion. Just got to jump straight to that bullshit, huh?
Yeah, just straight to the ignorant, man. It's cool, man. It's nothing. Bro, like, I'm used to it. And though that is not a good representation of a non-black person. I don't know what it was. It's just not a
No,
good
man.
representation. And I learned that throughout the years. At first, I used to, when I was young and simple-minded, it used to trigger me. But now it's like, I don't accept, I mean, that's his ignorance, man. That ain't got nothing to do with me. That's the he got to live with, not me, bro.
Oh, man.
But they'll be the same type of people to say people like me not civil. Like I'm not civilized, but
Yep.
people
Yep.
come on, man.
Yep. Yep. In that documentary, you're gonna watch touches on that. That's why they changed it out to brutes. Like they were talking a lot about how at the turn of the century, at the end of the 19th century, going into the 20th century, that's exactly the way that they started talking to make it okay. Was that people they actually broke it down into different skin colors. Like they said, like the half whites, which they considered Chinese to be in that group, and like the half white group, they were okay but not fully civilized. And then they would like black people and people from like the Philippines and people who were really dark, they were called savages because they had to paint the picture that they weren't human. But yeah, man, I know that it's crazy how
And,
people still to this day try to go back to that shit that they taught 150 years ago. And
and, like people just think they more sophisticated with it now. Like they trying to like I don't know, like hate speech, like it's okay. Like how hate speech okay? That's uncivilized shit for me to speak down on someone predicated. Now, I would like if your character is fucked up, then your character fucked up. That's the interpretation of you, your character, not your
yep,
skin color. You know what I'm saying? Not your sex. That's not a character. That's not that's just what you are. But your character, that's an interpretation of you. So I will judge a person's character, and I will only do it to see if I can even entertain it. Right? But a
right,
person, I won't look at you because you white or you Mexican or because you Asian and think that automatically I'm better than you. No, I never looked at it. But if my character is better than yours, then it is what it is. There's some
yep,
people that got better character than me. You know what I'm saying? And I learn from those people. You know what I'm saying? So
yep. That's why, man. I like to have a discussion with anybody that's willing to have a discussion.
yeah, man.
Sorry that
I
my
don't
phone's
believe
muted.
in that.
I'm
Oh
on
no,
lunch
you
break,
good, bro. No,
so
you good,
I'm
man.
out.
I appreciate you rocking out with me on your lunch break, bro. That's big, man. Because you could just be chilling. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate that, and I appreciate this too because us, like, especially with this, of like for me in real life, it is normal. Like to have a discussion with people and have
Yep,
difference of opinions or different philosophies or different ways of looking at life. But I've never really got into like conflict because of ideas. But on here
yep,
it's different, bro. So it's refreshing when I meet someone. Like you said, we can just have a conversation. Whether if you accept what I say or I accept what you say, we won't be disrespectful to one another. We fucking civilized, bro. I love
yep,
civilized people, bro.
yep.
I love it.
Yeah, man. Hopefully, I can catch you on a night. I'm gonna try to catch you on a night when you come on a Friday night, because I work Monday through Thursday nights from 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. But I'm in the same time zone you are. I'm in Ohio, so we're in the same time zone.
Oh,
So
we neighbors. I'm right
yep,
outside Detroit, bro.
yep. I'm about halfway through the state, close to the Indiana border. But
Okay, okay.
I'm gonna try to catch you on a night where I can get on there for an hour or two, and maybe we can talk about a few things. Because man, I like all I do at work. We can have headphones, so all night long, man, all I do is listen to news clips, and if I'm not listening, and I listen to news clips from from independent media. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if I'm not listening to up to date stuff, man, I'm listening to documentaries. I listen to documentaries from everything about aliens to giants to like the one that I told
Bro,
you about. Like, like I just, you know, I got plenty of time at work and I'm one of them people I don't really like to listen to music on my free time. So I just listen to YouTube and listen to shit all night long.
man, look, bro. I do a show with you. We could talk about aliens, bro. Like, do you think there's really aliens?
Oh, absolutely. I don't see how. I mean, just my personal opinion. I honestly don't see how anybody couldn't think that there's not aliens out there. Just
Oh,
given
bro.
the scope of the universe. They're done saying that shit that they've seen on that rock, that the only thing they could think that it could be is life. So we've all but almost proven life on Mars. I mean, but I mean, once again, that's just my own personal feelings on it. But yeah, like I absolutely believe in aliens in some scope.
Bro, I think like when people say, "Oh, I believe in space," I'd be like, "How the fuck do you think we the only things that exist?" Like that shit don't even make fucking sense. Like bro, it has to be something else out there. Bro, I be on some bro, it's just certain experiences that I had in life, bro. Is I know to be open to things. You should always be open.
My bad word. Hang on 1 second, man. I'm gonna put my earbud in so I can hear you.
Oh, you good, bro?
Oh, but yeah, man. Yeah. Did you see that video of that of the missile that bounced off of that UAP that they just released about 10 days ago?
Yeah, I seen that.
Yeah, man. See,
Uh,
I'm all into that type of stuff, man. But I've been into aliens ever since I've been a little kid. You know what I mean? Like that was one of my first. Uh, I don't know. I just always loved aliens, loved everything about aliens and stuff. So I just kind of kept that growing up.
Man, bro, I can, man. It when I start learning about space, it only made sense, and I always like it's some things that like I know, but it's like you can't really explain how you know it or how you like if you can't use the five senses to show someone or explain something to someone, then they automatically think it doesn't exist. That's the only way I can explain it. Like is not using the five senses. Like it's something that you probably got to experience yourself. That's just life, man. It's like people don't generally accept something unless they can experience it. So all experiences ain't for everybody. All experience
All
ain't for everybody.
right, hey, word. I'm gonna probably have to jump off here, man, until I can figure this out and stuff. My lunch break's over.
All right, I appreciate you, bro. You know you're more than
Yeah,
welcome anytime, man.
it wasn't a problem. I'm gonna still be in the chat. I'm just gonna hop off of the stream and stuff.
All right, bro. I appreciate you, man. You know you're more than
Yep.
welcome anytime, bro.
Yep. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it.
For sure, for sure. Shout out to Chris, man. Yeah, man. Chris gonna have some conversations. He available Friday. We ain't gonna try to get him every Friday, but I like talking to Chris, man. You know, y'all know me, man. I just like having a good conversation. You know, and Chris, I think he gonna be, had great conversations with me. I think you know, it might be a Midwest thing, but you know, I get along with people, especially Ohio, bro. I love fucking Ohio. I never moved there, but I do like visiting there. I just love Michigan. I don't think I'm gonna ever move out of Michigan. I love Michigan. Michigan is probably one of the littest states ever, bro. We have everything here. You can do everything. You can be anything. Like it's so many opportunities in Michigan, bro. I just love it. I love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. I've seen this name before. Hold on. Yo, yo.
Yeah, what's up, word? It's cool.
Well, I said I know I've seen his name before. I just didn't know.
Yep, it's cool.
What up, though? I'm gonna let it off for 1 second. Well, what up, though?
What'd you say? You hanging? You dropping down? You shutting it off?
Oh no, no, no. I'm chilling. I'm just kicking it, bro. I'm just kicking it. We talk about
Oh,
anything.
nice.
No, I was about to. I was stepping when I let you up. I was stepping out for a minute, so I said
Yeah,
I'd
that's all
drop the
good.
backdrop
Yeah,
for
I'm
a
just
minute.
chilling. I took a shower, laid down, put on a flick, and went to go to sleep. I can't really sleep. I'm a little restless, So I turned on YouTube and I seen you were live.
Oh, that's what's up, bro. That's what's up, man. Yeah, I need some more brain cells, bro. I was over at another podcast and they was atheists and Christians was arguing, and I'm like, man, I don't really care, bro. Does this make you better people, bro? Well, that make you a better person. I'm down for you. For you know.
Yeah, I do.
Oh,
I like this channel, the psychology philosophy, so that's why I come around here. A lot of people don't like my taste. I start talking about behaviors and motives and making, why we do the things we do, and people think it's boring. And I like it. Last time I was here, we were bullshitting about Plato and shit.
but see that's the whole concept I was telling them. Like, bro, if it make you better, it make you better. What matters? What matters if you believe in this? And, like, I'm more interested of why this make a person better.
Exactly.
You know, what part of this are you practicing that help you
Absolutely.
develop this new behavior? Bro, I'd be more interested in that because you can understand
100%.
how different people could be. I like to understand how people are influenced.
That's right.
You know,
Motives. Yep. Motives and
yeah,
behaviors. Yep.
yeah,
That
that's what I'd be
drives
more interested in.
me too.
Like even the hate, bro. Like, why do
Of
people
course.
like it be so? And that could be my downfall, though,
That's
bro.
a
Like, I
secondary
be,
emotion, though, anger, So that's interesting, too.
yeah,
Always 100% scientific fact.
but that could be my downfall because sometimes I put my position and I'm studying and not really realizing what's going on. I'm just like enamored into trying to understand versus like, hey, this ain't cool, this ain't good. So some stuff don't even bother me, bro.
Do you have an anger chart?
Do I have a who?
An anger chart. I'm serious. Like,
Ah, man. So when I was younger, bro, I was wild, bro, and I used to be angry all the time. And as I got older, it became detrimental. So I had to uh, change. I just had to change, and I had to redevelop myself. So I mean, I can be triggered, but I don't think I really have yeah.
well, uh, this is just opinions on my side. So I never like say
Mhm.
I'm right about anything. But I would say, you weren't angry all the time when you were younger because, but just let me finish. Of course, you were eventually, right? But it's a secondary emotion. So there's an emotion before that anger. Let's just say it's embarrassment, right? And I'm not saying that's what it was, but we would say instead of you being angry all the time when you were younger, you were embarrassed all the time when you were younger because that led to the anger. Follow?
Mhm.
So I was
Yeah, I'm
angry too.
following on.
I was angry too. And when I got older, I did what you did to change it. How I changed it was figuring out why I got angry, right?
Yes,
So
yes.
it was all about my parent, pops leaving. I only got to see him like 48 hours a week. So
And it's crazy you said that because when you say it, I can think of like embarrassment, sadness, and fear. Those are all the things that trigger my anger. Those things that trigger. If I get angry now, that's what triggers.
Yeah. Fear's
Like
the
when you
biggest
say,
one. So, not what
yeah,
anybody said. That's the biggest drive,
but
drive.
and this is what I learned too. From counseling, bro. Like one of my counselors at an early age showed me it's better to be angry than to be sad. They used to always tell me that. They say because when you're sad, you don't do nothing, but when you're angry, even if you do the wrong thing, you're still taking the act, you're doing something about it. You just got to learn how and what is beneficial,
Well said.
So,
Yeah, that's well said.
so I
Me,
think that's why I shift so quick.
sure. Me, I changed like 30, we'll say 20, like 32 years old. That's when I started to change to like what you're speaking about. Took me that long though.
But I was right there, 30, maybe
Yeah.
29. That's when it probably, no, probably about 20. I say it like this: when I met my wife, I had something bigger than me. So I think like that she triggered it.
Yeah.
I
And
always say my wife triggered that.
sure, that's good. You worry about something else, and that's fear. People don't understand the fear thing. Is your fear would be like if something happening to her, you fear,
Yeah.
her getting hurt in a situation, and then that motivates you to act, right? So like
Hmm.
that people don't realize that. Say you protected her from somebody, right? People say, "Oh, he's fearless," and they say, "No, no, no, no. He's full of fear that she'll get hurt, and then it triggers that movement to go protect her. Maybe you're only fear for a millisecond, unconscious thinking, but it's there. That fear is there, and it motivates you to move.
And that's it, bro. You hit the nail right on the head because like even I tell people like, yeah, I'm fearless, but that's a process. It's not something that you know it is a process I go through because first it is fear, but I eliminate it by acting. That's what eliminates the fear. That's how
I
you
could tell a
become
fear.
fear.
I could tell you a fear that you have right now that I could tell. You want me to tell you?
Hmm.
You fear behaving the way you did when you were younger, like I do. That motivates you to not, you see what I'm saying though, and that
Uh-huh.
motivates you to not do it, right? Like, and even if it's just a nanosecond, that's the smallest
Yeah.
unit of time, right? A nanosecond, like, or microsecond, I think it is, right? That's a millionth of a second, a microsecond. That's, even if that's there, you don't even, but not many people on earth, humans, can think that way, bro.
No, they can't.
Yeah, they don't take the time to yeah. See,
But
ego,
you
the
know what
big,
kind
go ahead.
my bad, go ahead. No, 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 no. You was about to build on something. Go ahead.
I was gonna say ego is a good thing, and people will say, "What? How could you say that?" And I say, the bigger ego you have, the more confidence you have. However, you can't let the ego control your behavior. But the
Hmm.
guys that accomplish the most, they have the biggest ego, like Neil
You
Armstrong, right? That guy had a gigantic ego. For him to fly that Apollo 11 lunar module down on that, his heart rate didn't even speed up for a second, and he landed that thing on the moon with nothing left. You know what I mean? And even if people say, "Oh, that never happened," I don't care. I don't care. But it's just an example, like shit. But ego's a good thing, you just can't let it
know.
control. Yep.
And like when I tried to, I was just thinking about that right before you, probably about 30 minutes, like in the first couple minutes. And I was saying like people don't really know what their ego is. It's there to actually protect you, bro.
That's
It's
so
just
right. So right.
people is like from my studies, I understand it it doesn't understand right or wrong. It just understands how things make you feel. So if
Yes.
you have less
Yes.
confidence, right?
Oh,
If
I like
you
that.
the less confidence you got, the more your ego gonna work against you, the more confidence you get, the more it's gonna
Yes.
work with you.
I
You
like
know,
that.
so
I like that.
man,
I never thought of it that
is
way, actually. I never thought of that. But you're right.
is that's how it functions, bro. And I learned that from me because
That's backwards. I never thought of that.
the thing was my ego used to protect me from actually
I like
harming me
that.
more. It
Yeah.
literally harmed me more. But when I gained the confidence, when I developed the self esteem, people mistook uh my me being in my ego as me being arrogant. But I always fulfilled anything I said, and I
People
was never
mistook
afraid
your.
of oh,
Go
go
ahead.
ahead, bro.
People, I just want to
Oh
say,
no,
people mistook your
yeah,
purpose for your ego. That's what it is. People mistook your
yeah.
purpose for your ego. Go ahead. I'm sorry for keep
But
cutting you off. I'm just into it now. You got me awake.
it,
That's my
it was
problem.
like even now, like when I say because I reprogram or I don't want to say well, I guess that is I reprogram my ego. So even now, like when I begin to feel like when I doubt myself, my ego kicks in and it calms that doubt. Like, nah, bro, you a bad motherfucker. You can do this. You got
Mm.
this. You
Mm-hmm.
know,
Yeah.
that's how my ego work with me.
I like that.
It'll work for me. When people have less confidence with the ego, say it protects them. It don't want them to feel bad. So it say, hey, don't try it. You don't feel good about it, don't try it. Don't do
That's right. That's right.
it.
I like that, bro. I never really thought of that quote you said before. You said the smaller. Tell me exactly that sentence you said. Just that one sentence. The lesser the ego, and then it works against you. What did you say exactly?
So the lesser confidence you have, the more your ego actually works against you. The
Okay,
more
yeah, that's
confidence
it.
you have.
Got you. Got
Yeah.
you. I'm gonna regurgitate that
My,
shit, bro.
my dog outside. I think I left my damn dog outside.
I usually been thinking the opposite in my mind, and I never really clicked in my mind because I was like, wait a minute, if it's too big, then how can it work against? Because it's supposed to work, and then purpose switch the ego, but it makes more sense if it's smaller, a smaller ego. That makes sense. I don't know why I never thought of it
Yeah.
that way. I'm serious. I don't know why I never thought.
Well,
I never looked at it like that. Never. Shit.
and see,
Yeah, that's
like
good.
even when most people like when, when like you, I'm trying to think about how to articulate. Um, but most like Sigmund Freud broke down the ego into three components, right? The
Wait, wait, wait.
ID,
All I heard was Freud. What'd you say after that?
he broke down the ego into three components:
Oh,
the
okay.
super ego, the ID, and the ego itself.
Oh, all
Now,
right.
the ego itself is the expression of either the super ego or the ID, the instinctive desire. So, what the instinctive desire is our selfishness, basically, things that um, we we put like it's like our way, like our survivor's instinct. And when you survive, you thinking about you. You ain't thinking about the next person. So whatever you got to do to survive, that's what it's gonna do. And then your ego is actually your conscious self determining which is better, the instinctive desire or the super ego, which is more of the uh, others before you. So we have two aspects of ourself, and it's our ego itself, our conscious self, the one who decides which route to go. Either
Con-
put others above yourself or put you above others. The
Conscious,
problem
subconscious, unconscious, right? That's what.
is, yeah. So
Yeah, I
our,
remember that
our
shit.
the problem is where we are consciously, and this is where the confidence and self esteem aspect kick in. I'm confident enough to know I can give or help someone and not worried about if I get patted on the back, accolade, recognition, or any of that.
Yes.
You know what
Yes.
I'm saying?
Of course I
You
do.
know.
It's like donating to your Cash App tonight, but not telling you that I just did it. Like if I do it right now and I don't tell you, you see, that's confidence enough for me to not get the pat on the back. But if I do it and then say, yo, I just donated $100 to you, bro. Check it out. You know what I mean? I'm doing that so other people
Hmm.
see it, you know? Oh, people think I have money. You know what I mean? right?
hmm See, what up, though? My bad. I just got back to the computer. I didn't know. Commander, what up, though? The lady in the nine. My bad, y'all. I just got back to the computer. I had to make some. My wife fried some chicken. And she do it like my grandma did. So it be flapping. Commander, the lady in the nine, the general of the fences in the building. What it do with the business is stop playing with me. Dee 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 dee. My bad. I'm running through. Pixie in the building. My boy Chris just dropped off, and I got my boy School of Athens on here kicking and spitting. Appreciate that, bro. Yeah, but I'm nerd. I'm a nerd when it comes to like behavior and like the human conditions and just
Bro, you
understand.
got
I'm
me
more
fucking.
interested.
You got me on cloud nine right now. You kidding me? I can't find conversations like this, bro. I ain't got, man.
Man, I love fucking talking to you all day, bro. I'm nerd the fuck out. I geek out when it comes to like behavior and
Yeah.
trying to understand. And I'm always a student, so I'm always trying to learn from other people. You know what I'm
So
saying?
you know Albert Ellis? You have to learn from other people. You know Albert
Yeah,
Ellis? Yeah, okay, good.
yeah.
So I got every one of his books, right? Well, I mean, maybe. I mean, at least five over here, you know what I'm saying? But I'm really, really big into REBT. You know what that is? REBT, you heard of it?
REDT.
R E
No, but
B REBT, Romania, England,
oh
Boston,
yeah,
Toronto.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so cool. So rational emotional behavior therapy, right? REBT. That changed my life. That's what I got into when I was 31. That's how I changed. And that's all that subconscious, unconscious, conscious stuff right there. You know, I'm leaving cabinet doors open in my house, lights on when I leave, bed unmade. You follow? You know what I mean? How am
Mhm.
I don't remember doing this shit. What the fuck? I don't want to be like this. Like, I'm holding the door open for somebody at 7-Eleven. They don't say thank you. I get angry, then go to work and I have a bit. You know what I mean? How the fuck? I gotta change this. I'm speeding up to try to get through a light that I don't even need to because I'm not gonna be late from work. You know, hit somebody like all that shit needed to change. And REBT was the key, bro. That was the key. Albert Ellis is a genius, man.
See, most people, like people don't really truly understand how much we function on the subconscious level. They don't even know what the preconscious level is. But like to change, like for me, right? To change behavior, you have to first be aware. Like you always, like you were just saying at the beginning, I don't even know why. You know, most people stop at what? What am I doing? Okay, I don't want to do this. But when you figure out why you're doing it, you understand the triggers and what's
Then you figure out how,
stimulating.
right? How to
Yeah, then you
change it.
figure out how. Yeah,
That's right.
it's like you go back and it's almost reverse engineering, bro.
Can I tell you how I did it? Do you know the when, the why, and the how? Like what I
Oh
did, you
yeah,
know? All right,
yeah.
so I piggybacked off his book and came up with an original thought. You know, I was wrote like a little paper on it just for myself. You know, it's not published that anything, but I like to write, and then read back on thoughts and maybe it changes things. And um, so I started with making my bed, right? And I came up with this idea. This was my original, and I said I'm gonna put a post-it on the wall that says "Make your bed," right? So I get up. This was when I was 31. I see the post-it on the wall that says "Make your bed." I turn around. I make my bed. I leave and go to work. I did that for 28 days. Okay. I took the post it down after 28 days. Now, all those 28 days that I did that, while I was driving to work, I remembered in my mind making my bed. I could see it, right? When you could remember doing it and you see right in your mind, I could see it. I could remember doing it. Now, around day like 35, like it was just 2 weeks later, like 14 days later, because now I'm doing it without the post it, but I still remember doing it. It was like day 40 something, right? 2 weeks after the 28. I'm driving to work and I said, fuck, I forgot to make my bed. I'm so mad at myself. And I beat myself up all day. I was so pissed. I couldn't get it out of my mind. I went home. Guess what?
Bed was made.
The bed was made and I didn't remember fucking doing it.
Hmm.
And that's the shit right there. And that's how it starts, right? So now from there you grow and you can make gigantic changes, right? No lights, no cabinets, my house is clean. I'm not getting mad at people when with the doors. I'm slowing down at yellow and I don't remember doing. I am on autopilot doing the right things, not the wrong things.
And is that's just the to not make it all philosophical or psychological is this reprogram. Like tying your shoe, bro.
You're absolutely
When you
right.
first did it, you said one loop, two loop, whatever the little nursery rhyme is. But now when you do it, you don't even think about it. Half the time I remember I looked down at my shoe like, damn, did I? And, oh yeah, I did tie my shoe. You don't think about it. It just it becomes part of your new
Just
behavior.
like breathing. Just like breathing.
Hmm. Just like even um like I remember when I was in college and what was I think I was taking like a reading comprehension class. I can't not remember the name of the class, but my teacher broke down the difference between hearing and listening because he was like most people in here are hearing me when I lecture, but y'all not listening. I can tell. It was reading comprehension because that's what he was breaking it down to.
That's
He was
active and
breaking it down
passive.
to
Active listening and passive listening.
active and passive listening. Yeah. And well, active, well, passive. No, he like the even the concept like of hearing what he was saying is certain word trigger. Passive listening is more like storing information and unconsciously. Like
Wait, what do you mean by
you
that?
might
Because I never, I thought of it differently, and I could. What do you mean by that storing information? Because I could be wrong. What I was thinking about
oh
then.
like the way he described like passive listening and hearing, he was saying it's two different things. I used to think passive listening was just hearing, but he was saying hearing triggers, like
Oh,
triggers. You end up getting stuck on one aspect and not listening to the complete context of something. He said
oh,
passive
gotcha.
listening, like you will be sitting there listening, but you're not really paying attention,
I don't
but
really
you're still
agree, but that's
recording
cool.
information. Oh no, go ahead.
No, I just saying. I don't know if I agree at this point yet. That wasn't enough factual information from him to get me to jump on board yet. But I could totally be wrong. I got to look up that hearing listening thing because, like, I break everything down a lot of times with police officers' behavior, a lot because they're a perfect example of, someone who's been in authority for a long time and been in situations that they're in control, and that's really dangerous because that seriously changes the way you act, either when you're not on duty, right? And when you're off. So, like all the auditors, because I'm big in the 1A field, when the cop comes and he says, "Let me see your ID," and they say, "No, I don't have to give it to you because I haven't broken a law," I look at the cop's eyes and now he's just passive. I thought this, I could be wrong, but my opinion is that now he's changed from active listening to passive listening, and anything the person's trying to explain to him why he's not allowed to get it, he's not listening. He's just like, all right, let me get the ID, bro, whatever you're saying. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So that is passive listening. Like it's it's like he's not he's hearing or the information is coming in, but he's just not engaged with
Correct, he's
it. Like
not storing anything. That's what I thought.
he's
He's
not okay. Yeah, that's what we can say. Like
Yeah, but I
like
could be
far as
wrong.
storing, like I like the concept when he was saying like storing the information. He was talking about like maybe you can recall. Like you wouldn't really fully engage with the person. So whatever they said, you wasn't really paying attention to, but you can recall later.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
That's like passive
I
listening. So
see.
like
I see.
even like say even like the same example you gave, bro. Say something happened, right? And the cop later got to go home and reflect on, it, right? In the moment, he didn't really give a fuck what the person was saying, but now that he's going back thinking like, damn, did he really do this or did it have to get? Then he start replaying everything like, damn, he wasn't really aggressive. I kind of, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do. I
In
see what
that
you mean.
example.
I see
But
what you mean.
it's been time like where I'm really not engaged with the person,
Sure.
and then later on I go back and be like, damn, you know, it
I
could
do it all the
we did
time.
say something. Yeah.
I
So
do it all the
that's
time.
what like far as the recall aspect of passive listening, that's
Gotcha.
what he was talking about.
I
But
see.
no,
I see.
the way you broke it down was exactly like hearing is just like say we don't hear, right? Say
Yep.
we don't hear. And this is how he was saying the difference between hearing and listening. Like when people hears this is an innate ability, right? Like it's just something that we all mm, potentially can do. You know, listening
Yep.
is a skill. You know what I'm saying? Something that
Yes.
um so hearing like when most people you having conversations on here, say if we like even we talking about behavior, right? This is how I know you comprehend what I said and you didn't just hear me. Like when most people talk on here, it'd be something that trigger them, one word that trigger them, and they're not take into context of what you were saying, but they just focus on that one word. Like I heard somebody say, "Well, if this is not right, this word you use, if you use it out of context, everything else is obsolete." And I'm
Bro,
looking like, "No,
dude,
that's not how it works." Like,
bro, I've been trying to change some of the auditors the way they speak to the police officers because they use the word education, and the word education triggers people because when you
yes,
say this, yes, so they'll say, "Oh, you know, this is to educate you," and the person doesn't look at it and say, "Oh, I can learn something new." What does the person say? You're calling me stupid, correct?
stupid, right, right. That's what I'm saying.
Exactly. I know. I mean, that triggers the police officers like crazy, you know? Like, damn.
And man,
You're
that
so
I say y'all got balls, bro. I give y'all all this. I ain't going to fuck with no time. Right or wrong.
well, yeah, I say it too. I just support them. You know what I mean? I went out and did a couple audits myself just to have the experience because experience is the best way to learn anything. You know how you learn
Hmm.
how you're feeling, and I mean I can articulate right, like the way I just like articulate syllables and sentences. I put together predicates correctly, subjects, but I got in front of the cop's face and this was just like he wasn't even doing anything wrong. And I started stuttering and freaking out and my heart started going crazy and I started, you know what I mean? I said, damn, like, because like you said, you give them credit, like all these people write in the comments like, oh, you should have done this, I would have done that, and it's like, yo, you got no clue what it feels like to be
Nah,
there.
you know. You know, I don't. Me personally, like I believe I'm pro cop, but I know there's a lot of reforming got to do. Um, but it's like I'm black, bro. I ain't about to put myself in a position where I can't get out of it, bro, because I got some form of education. I think that shit don't mean nothing, bro. Not for my experience. See, have my damn family talk. But from my experience, they tell you don't fuck around and find out. You fuck with the wrong one on the wrong day. They got authority and power. I ain't saying it's right. I'm just telling you what it is. I ain't saying it's right or wrong. See, if I need 911, I'm sure gonna hit them numbers. Pay my taxes, shit. But I think it do. I think like the work they do. I think it's kind of good, man. That's second bonus because anything can be correct. You know what I'm saying? I
All
think it
right.
should be some type of check and balance with the public. You know,
So,
when it
so
comes to
you can't. Nobody can be anti-cop. It's crazy because that's an anarchist, and they
yeah,
don't want control. You have to have a police force. You just have to. You have to have that.
yeah,
Okay. Now, so I am also pro cop, if you want to use that word. However, I this is going to be actually, I don't even want to say this statement yet. I'm going to hold that off until another time or day, maybe. What I was just about to say, I'm not ready to say that yet. But let's get back to you being black, right, and me being white, and growing up in the burbs. Um, not upper middle class family, no, not by any means, just middle class family, right? Suburbs, school. Maybe my school was like 9%. It was less than 10% black, my school, okay? I didn't live in a rich area by any means. Houses weren't, through the roof like they are. Just a regular middle class. I can honestly say that I got away with so many things just because I was white, driving. And a lot of times I wouldn't even know that I got away with it. I guarantee you. I bet you a cop pulled up and looked to the left and saw me driving the car and was white. And maybe he just kept driving. I'm sure that happened, right? Don't you agree with me?
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah.
now I have a couple friends that are black. I do, right? And a few of them, right? And they taught me a lot, a lot about what they went through when they were younger. And I will never fully understand it because there's no way for me to experience it. Like I was saying before, I can't, right? I can't. I can't experience it, but I can listen and look at his face, right? Let him speak
Mhm.
and let him just fully and make him feel comfortable, so he'll be 100% honest and genuine with me. And that's the only way that I'm gonna learn. I'm not gonna learn
Yeah.
in the classroom from a white guy from a book that was written by a white guy. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. Man, that's some real shit you just said, bro. I might have to cook that to make that a short. That's some
listen,
real shit. A lot of people ain't real no more, bro. Or I don't know. Is it not real? It just sounds like you're empathetic. I mean, just from what you do. You know what I'm saying? Like, even I like most people who really kind of study behavior. We have a high level of empathy. I think that's what we do, trying to understand. Um, but that's some real shit, bro. And you not a lot of you know white people
not a
even
lot of
said
white
something like
people
that.
will say that.
Yeah.
You can say it. I've been told it a lot of times. I'm not a conceited person. This is gonna sound conceited,
Look,
but I
bro, I got
definitely,
white family, bro. I got white family, bro. And
yeah,
I'm telling you, I haven't heard that many white
yeah.
people say that. I'm just being
Um,
real, bro.
that's empathy, though. You understand, because that's the most
Yeah.
important personality trait, bro. Is empathy. It is.
Mm,
It's number
mm-hmm.
one. Number one.
Mm-hmm.
That's why Plato, Aristotle, Socrates are still, we still speak about them because that's what they pushed. They were able to understand what other people felt better than anybody else, Like, and if it's like what I explained, like a different race, they were the closest people to try to understand. You know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
because like I said, I'll still never understand it. But people say some ridiculous thing. Oh, are you kidding me? My neighborhood, white people get pulled. Shut the fuck up.
Mm-hmm.
Just shut up. All right. I don't
It,
even want to hear that. I don't even want to hear you try to say that white people get just the same. I don't even I won't even speak to the person when I hear that shit,
mhm.
Ridiculous. Ridiculous.
You know
Ugh.
what I told somebody one day? Somebody, I mean, they looked at me funny, and I was talking. I forgot who I was talking to, and I was saying like, you know, I accept that a non-black person will never understand my experience. And
Yeah.
by doing so, I accept how I feel for a white person, for their experiences, bro. Because I couldn't imagine. I had a friend talking to me like, man, look, bro, it's hard because I'm a really good person. I love everybody, but it triggers me. He was asking me like, how can he not be triggered by this? But he said it triggers me when people try to blame stuff on me. And bro, I wasn't here. Even if my ancestors did it, all I can do is say sorry, but I'm not doing it. I'm trying to build that bridge, but it's like I keep getting that thrown at me. He was like, bro, it he was like that shit make me feel another way when people keep doing it. And I'm like, damn, I couldn't imagine that because I would
Mm.
never experience that.
Yeah.
I could never
Yeah.
experience that.
Yeah. That's interesting. That's an interesting point of view. Yeah.
And he's a good dude. He's a good dude. I mean, his kid's godson. I mean, his kid's godfather.
Yeah.
His dad was Hell's Angel and everything. His dad loved me. His dad loved me. He was like, man,
Yeah.
I can't talk
Yeah.
about,
Yeah.
'cause it was some shit. But it's like when he said that, I'm like, damn. It made me think like, damn, that gotta feel fucked up. That's the only like, and like you said, I'm looking at him and I see it in his face, like he in
Yeah,
pain.
that's important. That's important because they
You
can't hide that. That's full
can't
truth,
hide
right?
that shit,
Facial.
bro.
That's
You
right.
can't
That's
hide that shit, bro.
Yep, you can't. You can't. It gives it away. It gives it away. And that's it's such a
I'm like,
tell.
that shit, and that should affect him. And after he said that, I watched him. You know, I looked at him different and seeing how he ended. Because at first he was just calm, like it's just how he is. But then I seen like when people did that, so it's like I protected him and he protected me. You know what I'm saying? It
Yeah, I
was like,
do.
okay,
I
I ain't letting
do.
nobody do this to him. You ain't about to do that because he ain't. You know what I'm saying? And then somebody
Yeah,
say
I
some
do.
wild shit, he'll step up. So it's like, no, that's my. That's like when people come here, like I'm a black guy, bro. I have black experiences, right? So when certain shit happen, I feel a certain type of way. But I got a lot of white people who come through here support me. I ain't about to let nobody bash them, predicated upon some shit that they ain't even wasn't even involved in because I got a friend and I see how that I know I'm aware of that now. Before I wasn't aware of it, but now I am. So when people do that, and I'm like, man, these people ain't right. You can't call all white people racist, bro. Can't do it. You can't say all white people this, all white. You can't do it because everybody
Yeah, it's
different.
That's a prejudiced, a racist
It's
thought,
a
right? Yeah, that's a prejudiced,
bigot shit.
racist. Yeah, that's both
It's
prejudice and
bad.
racist.
Whoever do that, I don't care what you are, bro. I don't
Yeah.
justify bad behavior for nobody, not even myself, and it's just bad behavior.
Do you know Q Butter channel? Q Butter?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, you do.
yeah. I don't watch it a lot, but
Oh, but that's cool
I'm
that you know.
subscribed to it.
All right, that's
Yeah.
cool. So I got on there. He let me on, right? Because I kind of passed the. He spoke with me behind, and I knew someone that he knew, so he let me up, and he let me rock. Right, there were 5 people on there. It was him. He didn't say a word actually till the very end. Um, Another person that okay, so it was him, 3 other people, and then me, right? And it was an older black gentleman, a middle-aged black woman, and then the other guy. Okay, and we were having such a nice conversation, the 3 of us, the elderly gentleman and the middle-aged black woman, and he kept trying to get it out of me like just a racist quote. Do you know what I mean? He kept like
Mhm.
he hated the fact that the 3 of us were having a good conversation, And I told a story, and then Q came on and said, "Yo, that's some real shit." So then I got my ego right. I was on
Mhm.
purpose, and I started feeling like fuck yeah, white boy, and I'm accepted on Q's. So then I gave the other guy who was trying to come after me a couple shots back. And then I went too far. And I don't mean I didn't make a racist comment, but it was unproductive now. I went from purpose to ego because all of a sudden I was happy that Q, gave me a compliment. And I fucked it up, Q was like, all right, now you out of here, bro. Yeah, you know what I mean? And I left. And he said, thank you for coming, though. You seem like a good dude, but I ain't letting you punk my friend like that. You know what I mean? Like,
And like it's like over here, bro. I feel like, dude, if you can shoot it out, you got to be able to take that shit too, bro.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? 'Cause
yeah,
I can tell when somebody is triggered or somebody is in defense mode. You know what I'm saying? And
sure.
I can't tell nobody how to fight, bro. And I say, hey, if the shit fit, then wear it. Like, if
Okay,
it fit, wear it. Like, I mean, if
okay.
like when people talk about stereotypes and shit, somebody fit the stereotype, bro. I can't be mad at that. That's what they doing. That's they acting, bro. You know what I'm saying?
I do.
Like,
Yeah,
if people fit it, then I mean, shit, that's your motherfucking coat. Put that motherfucker on and wear it. That's
yep,
how I feel. People get mad at that, bro. But
yep.
like, I'm not about to let somebody just go off on one person and not let them get their licks back. That ain't a fair fight, bro. Man, you fight dirty. Man, Tech Show, what up, though? My bad, bro. My bad, man. I didn't see my boy Tech Show. Yeah, but I don't all that I don't know. And then everybody got their own experience and
Was
shit.
it Pan
And,
African? Is that what? Is it called? What is it? What's it called? The
yeah,
chat. That genre is that?
the
Is it called Pan African? Is that correct?
yeah, that Pan African. Yeah, I don't fuck with none of
What is that? What is that
that.
actually like? How would you define that term?
So from my understanding, it's like it's you gotta explore Darwinism. It's basically um we Africans that's over here, but we have to get back to our roots. Like we have to get have an African centric mindset,
Oh,
even if we're not in the land.
gotcha.
But the goal was always to go back
I
to
see.
that was Garvey's goal was to go back.
See. Gotcha.
So yeah, I don't like eat that the FBA, all those groups, bro. I'd be like,
Gotcha.
I'm a nine, bro. I'm a
Yeah.
nine. That's what I'm saying, bro.
Similar to Hitler.
Everybody else can create their shit. I can create mine.
Similar to Hitler's World War II, right? When all the American Germans, right? There was
Mhm.
tons of American Germans that went back. There's a term for it because they say it in the show Band of Brothers. The guy comes up to a prisoner and he says, "Where are you from?" Blah, 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 and he's making fun of him in German, and he's got this regular American accent and says, "Eugene, Oregon." And he goes, "Eugene?" He goes, I live in a town 2 miles to the right." And he goes, "Really?" Goes, "What are you doing here?" And then he says that term like it's a call to go back to the fatherland. And everyone went back because that was before the Americans were even in the war, you remember? So I don't know if that's similar to
Yeah.
that, but maybe not.
Well, it's uh, well, not really. Like it's more of developing an identity,
Oh,
and
okay.
it's more developing an identity because like before that, you was a Negro, you color, you was what else do they call us? Whatever that was. So what Garvey did was like, hold on, you have an identity.
So
You have
blackamoor, that term blackamoor.
Blackamore. I
Yeah,
heard it.
yeah, I've heard of that term too, and I'm sure it's offensive, like extremely. I'm sure. I just don't know if it's different.
Well, the way that developed, I think that was in the 18, no, maybe the early 1800s
Okay.
when it was some freed people, some freemen, but
Ah,
um, they couldn't establish they didn't want them to be called free men because at that time it was white indentured slaves, and that's what they were when they fulfilled the contract. Well, they were
understood. Understood completely. I got you.
so they dubbed them blackamoor, but the
Understood.
reason it became more derogatory is because some of those people end up owning slaves.
The black people or the white indentions?
Both groups did.
Holy
And,
shit!
but see, it's like slavery is it's ways like mm, it was at that time it was kind of like going to get an ox a fucking cow or ox. At that time slaves were more like a property. So
Not more like a property. They were one hundred
they were
percent.
property. Yeah, they
I
were property. So
yeah.
at that
I,
time, it was like if you wanted to actually do something or develop something, this was just a tool to do so.
of
Just
course,
help you establish. That was like the mindset. That's how
of
people
course.
looked at it at that time.
You know how valuable
Um,
the slave was, right? Like how much money?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
serious money.
Like even when the slaves got freed, bro, a lot of the slave owners got payout, bro, $300 to $400 a slave, man.
Yeah, more than that. More than that. More than that.
Yeah. They were
Yeah,
getting
for real.
these big corporations here got to stuff. People don't even man. American history is crazy, bro.
Because I know Ulysses S. Grant, right?
Mhm.
Leonardo DiCaprio did two documentaries from his production company Appian Way, and the first one was on Washington, and the second one was on Grant. And the first one focused on the things about George Washington that weren't good, that were hidden from us in history. And the second one was focused on Grant, that the good things he did that were hidden from us from history. Because Grant was from from the late 1800s till 2005, he was constantly in the lower quarter of rankings in president, and he's slowly moving up now because of historians writing papers and finding history that was buried. And there was one thing is he married a Southern girl, and he was from the North, and the Southern girl's father gave him a slave, and he was destitute. He couldn't support her, and then luckily the Civil War happened, and then he started getting paid. You know what I mean? Because he was a soldier. That's all he knew how to do. He was trying to do businesses and failing, and they said sell your slave. You can make almost like $8,000 then. That's what this one was, and he freed him. He freed him. This is just a fact. He did not sell him. He freed his slave, and they showed that in the documentary. That's when I realized not so much like, oh, he freed the slave, but just how much the money, that I didn't realize it.
Hmm.
And this last thing real quick, I do genealogy on the side. I put together portfolios for people, and on and ancestry DNA, and I put together nice like laminated book, and then the grandparents, great grandparents, and I found receipts, that said these words on it that I didn't understand, and it was slaves because I was doing someone from Alabama, and his great grandfather or great great grandfather owned slaves, and there was a paper receipt that said on the bottom. I said, "Holy shit! I can't believe I'm reading this." So that's why I meant property. That was a receipt for people.
Oh damn, that's dope. You do that, man. You got a website or something?
No, 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 not at all. Not at all. I pay for the highest level of ancestry DNA. It's like $50 a month because you can get the newspapers from anywhere around the world. And then someone will, charge like $250 to someone. And then they give me a certain amount of time, and I put together a portfolio for them of their, history of their families, and then give it to them, and then they show their family. You know what I mean? Like, you open it up and
Man,
you
if you
see.
ever want to promote that, bro, I got you, bro. You can
No,
promote
no,
that
I ain't
over
trying
here,
to
man.
make it. I got so much stuff that I do, like my
Yeah,
regular job, and
yeah,
I just do it on
yeah.
the side for fun and once in a while for a couple bucks. That's it. No, no big thing for it.
That's dope because I got mine done as far as my dad's side of the family and my grandmother's side of the family. So yeah, that was interesting seeing like my great 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 grandfather owned my great great grandmother, and
Damn.
what he did was uh end up buying her whole family, right? And at that time, they wasn't able. I mean, he could have freed them, but what he did was bought the whole family and married her.
Yeah.
He married a slave,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
he got disowned from my family. They made him drop. Uh, yeah, but yeah, he ended up. That's the reason why my family got 50 acres out of South Carolina right now
Really
because
cool, man.
of
That's
him.
really cool. That's really
Yeah,
cool.
he had to alter his last name because they didn't accept him no more. And his brother
Oh,
was a famous gynecologist.
yeah. Yep. I mean, if they found out that you had it in the family, like sometimes like a couple back, and you were a quarter black, you would be unaccepted, right? Like not even a person
Yeah,
who it's crazy.
yeah, man. It's crazy, and that's why people like with this whole. How you feel about that Charlie Kirk thing? How you feel about all this going on?
So I saw what happened and everything like that, but I didn't get into it, bro. I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't. I've been watching sports, Buffalo Bills and soccer, more than that. There was so much outrage back and forth. So maybe you inform me a little bit, and then I can give you like my initial feelings on it. I know he was assassinated. I know where it was, and they caught the guy, right?
Hmm.
So what? Give me some background.
So I didn't even know who Charlie Kirk was
Me
up
neither. I'm not
until
into politics.
yeah. So it's not even gonna matter. I think it's unfortunate the way he got eliminated. Assassinated. I think that is unfortunate.
Of
I don't
course,
think nobody should get
yeah.
assassinated for their political views, um, or even for their opinions, man. He
I
said
agree.
a lot of like he was saying that Dr. Bill Carson is more valuable to the black community than Martin Luther King. He was like Martin Luther King didn't really. He said a lot of shit, but that I ain't agree with. I'm gonna say it like that. And it's old rhetoric to me, so it didn't like emotionally trigger me or anything.
Yeah.
But like I just think like
It's good to read and you know his and listen to his thoughts though. It's good because he might be
yeah,
right about something small in that, you know what I mean? And you might find
yeah,
out things you didn't know that he would be right about, but not as a whole. You agree?
yeah. I mean a lot of the not the stuff I heard. Like the stuff I heard was bullshit. Uh, that's why it didn't bother me because it was like a lot of stuff he said was. I mean, I heard it before, you know.
Yeah.
So it was like the new thing was like how he associated DEI to black achievement or what we consider black achievements. But like I said, man, I'm used to people trying to discredit. Um, I'm used to people discrediting people in general. Shit, look at what they
Sure.
did to Nikola Tesla. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like you
yeah. He was
think,
an amazing. He's an amazing,
yeah, man. Well,
amazing.
shit, if they did that to Tesla, who they won't do it to anybody else, man?
You
Get
know
out of
I'm
here, bro.
15 minutes. I'm 15 minutes from Shoreham. That's where I live on Long Island. That's where his tower was. You know the one. If you look
Yeah,
up the. Yep. Yeah. The name is Nikola Tesla Road, and the buildings is there where it was his laboratory. And they have the spot right where the tower was. That thinking, bro. Oh my god. To
man,
think the way he thought about cellular
out of this world,
phones.
bro.
That's cellular phones he's talking about. Like what?
Hmm.
Nobody,
Bro, he was pulling electricity out of the atmosphere, bro. What are we talking about, bro? Stop
amazing,
playing, man.
amazing, fucking
Man, stop
crazy.
playing, bro.
Yeah, and then people, they just, it's not only selfish, but it's just ignorant. Like, hey, so what? It's like,
Yeah.
so what? What?
Like, it's just
So
like,
what?
bro. Like, man, Nikola Tesla, bro. I was so fascinated. I'm still fascinated with him, but when I was younger, man, that shit, man, I wanted to be a scientist so bad, bro. When I was young, because of Nikola Tesla,
I wanted to be an
it was just
ambassador.
amazing.
An ambassador. That's what I wanted when I was younger.
I wanted to. When I started off, wanting to be a cop because like all my favorite people, like in my family, was cops. And then it's like when I start feeling myself. That's when I got into bro. I used to blow shit up, bro. My mom used to be mad. At me. Like I started learning about chemicals and shit. And like, fucking, she brought me to science kit, man. Bro, I used to get, and I was so curious about things, bro. I used to get in so much trouble, man. Trying to create things and take shit apart and put it back together, try to figure out how to make it better once that was all Nikola Tesla, man. I was
That's pretty
fascinated
cool.
when I was a kid.
That's cool. Yeah, I was extremely inquisitive too, like probably just as much as you, but it wasn't science, it was psychology. Like I wanted to know why. Mom, why did he do that? Well, because they have to hook up the tugboat to the boat because it's not moving. Yeah, but why? That's all I kept.
Yeah,
I said why to my mother so many times. Like that's what was me. I was so inquisitive as a kid.
and my kids now, bro. My son is like everything is blind, and I break it down to him because I got it. Like my grandmother, like if I asked something that she knew, she'll always sit there and explain it. But if I asked her something she didn't know, she'd tell me go find it, go figure it out. Go
Ah,
ask this person. Go ask that person. So she still kind of guided
yeah.
me.
Not I don't know. She doesn't say I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah, I got
or
you.
stop asking why. She never said that. She never told me to. She always told me to ask questions. She always did that.
That's because she
You
held
know.
education important. That's what it
Yeah, she
means.
did. Yeah, she did. That's my grandmother was high on education. Yeah, she was very high on education. That's why I wish she could have seen my sister become a doctor, bro. That shit would have been. But she thought I was. Everybody thought I was broke. But I'm like, nah, I'm more of a hands-on person, bro. I ain't fucking with all the books. I went to college, got a degree, but I went more for the information than the piece of paper they was giving.
I agree. I had a real special relationship with my maternal grandmother too. Real special. I go to her grave once a week. Actually, I'm in charge of the flowers and shit.
That's
Uh,
dope, bro.
yeah, she didn't go to college, but she definitely never stopped educating herself. So I would say she was highly educated too. And her, uh, what's it, speciality, right? Like what she was able to do was make me see things from a like a different point of view. So I got 3 speeding tickets in 18 months when I was a kid. Well, I was a little older actually. I wasn't a kid. And I said, this is BS, Grandma. I didn't say actually bullshit. I said, this is crap, Grandma, because I wouldn't curse in front of her. They took this away from me. And she said, school? Look, they take mine away too, and I didn't do anything wrong. And I said, shit. How could I be mad, right? Like I did speed and she didn't do that. I'm just old and they took it away from me, and she was able to just immediately make me think of, you know what I mean? Oh, I'd be way more
Mm-hmm.
angry if that happened. So that's just a little example.
And see that I like our elders, bro. They might have lacked the education, like going to institution, but their wisdom, bro, was beyond what you can find in the book, man. It's beyond like when you self taught, like you said, experience, bro. A lot of that wisdom came through them living, man, experience in life, and they was able to interpret it and gain things. Like my grandma used to always say, if you don't walk through shit, you ain't gonna never beat shit. And I didn't understand. I'm like, what is she talking
Like
about? She
that. I
was like,
like that.
you'll go through life and it's gonna be some painful stuff. But that pain is there for you to learn. And if you don't learn, you're gonna keep feeling that pain. They say the thing about walking and shit, you won't be afraid. Once you do it a couple times, you won't be tiptoeing around. You know
I like
just to
that.
go through it and you clean it off later.
I like that. That adds to my ideology because I got my special quote is like, first comes knowledge, right, and then past knowledge becomes wisdom, and wisdom,
Mhm.
constant wisdom, keeps you on the path to enlightenment because we never achieve enlightenment, but we have to stay on that road. So when we go off the road, that's when we go through the bushes, like your Gma said, right, and we feel pain from the thorns and everything, but that wisdom, right, from the pain that we learn from the knowledge puts us back on the road and we're able to walk again like that. And I'm gonna add that into my shit, like what you said from your grandma, but I like how you said walk because that's how I associate it on the path to enlightenment.
You know, I was studying I don't know if you know who Madame Blavatsky is. But I was studying Madame Blavatsky,
You're a
and then when I
Polish
learned
Polish scientist?
she was what is it she Theoscopy, is that how to pronounce it? Theoscopy. It was a form of occult religion that she developed, and that's who inspired what's that one dude named crazy dude who was all up on Aleister Crowley. He inspired Aleister Crowley.
Wow.
Um, yeah, but studying her, I found who she was inspired with her teacher. His name was Serapis Bey.
That's the most important thing to do, what you just said. Keep going.
Yeah. And so when I started learning about Serapis Bey, he had formulas to life, right? Everything was a formula. Like all these concepts we had, it was a formula. So when it came to wisdom, it was always knowledge practice over time. That was the formula to gain wisdom. And to gain enlightenment was wisdom. Um, damn, what was it? I'm gonna have to look. It's wisdom. Um, oh,
well,
I forgot the formula to wisdom. I
that's
was
all
just
right.
telling somebody about this yesterday. It slipped in my mind.
That's okay. I'm still with you.
But it was interesting because like the more I studied them, like the way we learn, you know, like it's through structure, basically. Like the way, well, it's not the way we learn, it's the way we input information. The more structure it has, the easier it is to input. You know, that's why we have formulas because formula is a structure. Um, And what's so interesting about Serapis Bay is like how he broke down everything, even like in the cult, how like with symbolism, synchronicity. It was just the way his mind worked, and like genius. I think when people are geniuses, they fucking crazy, bro.
Yeah, yeah,
They
yeah,
fucking
absolutely.
crazy.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
I be
Nuts,
fucking crazy.
nuts, nuts,
That's why I think
nuts,
I'm a genius because I know
nuts,
I'm not.
bro. My mind's going. My mind's going 1,000 miles. Every day. I'm fucking insane.
Or like when people like when somebody told me overthinking is bad, I was like, you just don't know how to do it the right way.
Yeah,
Overthinking to me is good.
yeah.
I
No, no,
I
no. I
see
agree.
fucking scenarios and one thing like that's because I overthink it and I
Yeah.
can think beyond the original thought.
Yeah,
So
because one little choice can mess up so many different things. So there's so many different
hmm
variations and scenarios
hmm
from one step to the next step. Because, like, my favorite person of all time, like, well, not my favorite, but I think one of the most influential people of all time, like, if I had to, is Alexander the Great. And, like, there's no way he could have done what he did without Aristotle's teachings. There's no way. I don't
hmm
believe it. I just don't believe it. And I mean, and he was so humbled that he learned from him that he's even said that. Like, you can read stuff that was written that he
hmm
attributed it. But, like, I'm just trying to say, like, when I started to read about him, I said, "Oh shit!" Like, he was taught by him. Like, damn, like, like, you know, uh, damn, like, these people, they move left, and the world goes left with them, and it changes history in the future, man. These people, Leonardo,
yeah,
Da Vinci, and modern day guys like Steve Jobs and Reed Hastings, and
yeah.
Evan
Fuck Walt
Spiegel.
Disney.
Man, it's
Like I mean, I know like even like when people like bro, Walt Disney is so fucking interesting to me because
That's another
it's
one.
like he this motherfucker, bro, made people like mice, bro. Like he
I
blew a
know,
fucking rod on, bro. Like he had a dream and a goal, and the way he put it together, and look what he created. Look where he's at now.
I
It's
know, bro.
like,
They own the fucking, they own everything. ABC, ESPN, fucking,
mm,
like, God, everything.
that's like what even the Amazon owner, what's his name?
So you
Uh,
got, you got Jobs, you got Spiegel with Snapchat, you got Zuckerberg with Facebook, you had Jobs with Apple, and you had, just give me 1 second. Why can't I think of his fucking name? He's like the richest guy in the world. I heard said his name a million times. Um,
why can't I think his damn name?
I
No,
can't
I'm having
believe
brain fuck right now.
I can't believe I can't think of his name either. Um,
Commander, what's the Amazon dude name?
oh my god. Oh,
Look in the chat. She probably typed it.
I can't even. I don't know why I can't think of his name.
I'm gonna wake my wife up. It
But
was
he's
like,
amazing.
leave me alone.
He's amazing because he gets in. What I like about him the best is his vision of competition, of how he
Jeff
grew that company.
Bezos.
Yeah, Jeff Bezos. Yes, his competition aspect, how he, created the thing to go against Netflix, right? He created his own production
hmm
company to go against the movies.
hmm
He's got everything. Everything. Then he went against UPS, the post office, and FedEx.
Man, that like, bro, like that shit, like people don't understand, bro. Like when
Yep.
you get that, I don't know, it's just something in people, you know.
Oh, that's what it is. They're innovative. You know what I mean? They have
And,
there's people that do, they can see. Other people are good with, like, people persons, right? So once a
yeah.
business is created, right, and it becomes a conglomerate and it's worth $1 billion, maybe it starts to fail, right? And the board votes him out as CEO, right? The original. They'll bring in a guy that doesn't have vision, but that's really good at just dealing with people, right? In the company and making sure the company, but it doesn't go forward. That's what happened with Steve Jobs when they voted him out and they brought in, I think it was Peter Thiel, the guy that was the CEO of Pepsi. It might
Yeah.
be it might be a different name, but they brought in him and he started the company like late 80s, right? And then it went to the early 90s, and he came up with the Palm Pilot idea, and Apple just fucking went straight down. So they went
Mm-hmm.
back to Jobs and said, "Can you come back?" You know. So he came back, and there's a famous conversation when he goes up to him and he says, "Listen, your Palm Pilot idea was good, but you had one problem." And he takes his finger, he grabs a pencil. He says, "They don't want this," and he, just fakes like he's writing on the Palm Pilot, and he throws the pencil away. And he has his finger. He goes, "They want this," and he goes back and forth on the thing, And the guy's like,
Mm.
"Wait, what?" Like. And then he created the iPod, like immediately. He had that idea, you know what I mean, in there, like before he got there, and just the reason why Apple, started to fail was because there were things that were selling really good, and he didn't even give a fuck. He'd be like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, next thing," and they're like, "No, no, 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 no. This thing's selling. We can still sell it. I don't care. We're taking that money and putting it R&D. Everything to R&D. Everything. You know what I mean?" They're like, "We can't do that. We're not gonna have enough money to manufacture what's still selling. Like, we'll make so much money. No, I don't care about the money. I just want to make new things." You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. You see
uh,
that's what I tell people. Like when I heard the Henry Ford story, like Henry Ford had so much potential out of creating a car, but he just wanted to make a car, man. He just wanted to make that motherfucker.
yeah. Well, I live next to the right near Selden, New York, and Henry Selden is the creator of the automobile. I don't know if you know that, but
Henry told me, yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. His father was the lawyer for Susan B. Anthony, and then
Hmm.
the son created the automobile. He had the 100%. What was it called when you get something that you own and nobody else can do? A patent. So he had the patent on the horseless carriage. That was the engine, and everybody else, Henry Ford, the Dodge brothers, or everybody had to pay him for every car that went off the line. And he had his own business, the Selden Motor Car Company, but he didn't have the production idea like you're talking about, like Henry Ford envisioned that production line, right? And it's the largest suing case of our nation's history. Like 17 to 20,000 pages was the suit, and then Henry Ford won, and he didn't have to pay him anymore, and then the money just fucking came in, and Selden went bankrupt.
No, I don't. Thanos shit.
What
No,
happened?
Commander, you about. She was asking, do we know the story? Excuse me. Went down the wrong part. Trying to talk to you, Gert. Do you know the story of Thanos chick? Want to be female Steve Jobs? That's her name, Thanos chick. I never heard of it.
Yeah, yeah, I know her. I know the whole story. She's yeah, I know the entire story. I read the book, and then they came out with the either a show or the miniseries. She had an amazing thought, but she fucking was she put people in serious danger because the shit wasn't working.
Hold on.
You-
What did she do?
She came up with the idea of this tiny little box that you put just one drop of blood in, and you put it in, and then it can tell all the things about your body, and it was
Oh shit.
amazing. And she made $1 billion in fucking like, Commander, what was it, a couple years? Because what's the guy that owns who's the big investor? What's his name? Hathaway,
Yeah,
Berkshire
Hathaway Group.
Hathaway.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Hathaway. He invested $100 million in her, right? Like everybody was fucking just, and then she was such like a cute kid, and then she started to change her. She started to wearing these black collar shirts and then speaking really low, and she was explaining that she was getting exploited because she was a woman, which was true. But then after that happened, it was a huge step backwards for women CEO because then the men had
Oh,
ammunition. Then the men had ammunition. They were like, yo, look what she's doing. That's because she's a woman. No men would ever do what she did, which is bullshit. But
Thanos chick? Like, what's her name? I want to
Amanda
look this
something.
up.
I think it's Amanda. Amanda Seyfried played her. Actually, that's why I said Amanda. You should watch the show. Yeah, just watch the show. It's on. It's great. It's a great little TV show. It's good. Go watch the whole thing.
What is it on?
I'll check it out. Hold on.
But it's called Thanos chick.
No, 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 no. She made the name of. Hold on, I'll tell you. The idea. Her company was called that. So hold on. Let me see. I think she went to jail too. To be honest.
Mhm.
Thanos. Here we go. Let's see. I'm just gonna type in Thanos. Amanda Seyfried, because I know she played her. She was awesome, and I love her. No, it's called Theranos with a Ther. I love Amanda Seyfried. I think she's so fucking hot, and she's a great actress too. All right, it won Primetime Emmy
Oh,
Award. Won
oh,
Prime.
spell it again.
Uh, um. Oh, the name of the company is Theranos. Theranos. And the name of the show is called The Dropout. It came out on 2022, and you can watch it on Disney Plus or Hulu right now.
Oh yeah, I got both. I'm gonna watch that. Y'all
Yeah,
giving me some shit to watch, man.
you'll love that. You will love it. You know, you will love. That's a great show, man. You know, really good. And you know the guy that plays Saeed in Lost. Do you know him?
Yeah.
He plays, you know, her boyfriend in real life. You know that he's really good too. Really good. It's a great show. The new one came out about the other woman CEO just 2 days ago. Oh, no, yesterday it came out or 2 days ago. Um, about the woman who it's called Swiped. She was the girl who came up with Tinder, and then she fucking left them, sued them, and came up with Bumble right after that. You know, like she's another amazing chick. You know her, Wolf,
Hey,
right?
what was the name you said that show was one more time? My bad. I'm on HBO Max now. I'm trying to find
All
it.
right, all right.
Put it
So,
in the
so
watch.
you got two shows to watch. You got one show and one movie to watch, both about women CEOs. The show is called The Dropout. That's on Hulu, and the other show is on Hulu also. It's called Swiped. That's a movie.
Wait.
Yeah, Swiped is good. That woman's amazing. Her name, I think, is Victoria Wolf. It's something Wolf, and she's a billionaire. Like she's because she started Tinder, and then she didn't get any credit for it. The guys took all the credit, pushed her out, and then she quit and got a lot of money from a Russian investor, and then created Bumble and made $1 billion from that. And what happened was that Russian guy, who is, I mean, was rich to the fucking, was bought out by a huge investment firm in America, and they went to her and said, "Listen, we're merging Bumble with his company, which is one of the largest companies in the world, and we said we want you to be the CEO." And she was the CEO of both of them, man, bro. Like, she's amazing. She's got all the credit back for everybody, like amazing.
Both of them on my watch list.
She's amazing. That chick, Victoria Wolf. Her mind, oh, the shit she can come up with. God,
And that be crazy. Like it. Like I like when I talk to people, they be like, "Bro, why don't you do this or do that? Like put that shit." I'm like, "Bro, I'm a thinker. I need people around me to do the shit."
that's
Like
right. That's
and that be the thing, bro. You put the right people around the right people, man. Magic happens.
That's Steve Jobs,
But
though, right? Steve Jobs,
yeah,
okay, and Wozniacki, right? That was the two of them, right? Started Apple together, and then once it got big, his ideas, he couldn't come up with the iPod. He couldn't make the iPod, right? But
mm,
those people wouldn't have been told about the idea without him. So he is the one that
mhm,
actually created it. You know what I mean? Because there's other
mhm.
people that could have done what those people did, right? But nobody could have done what he did. That's the
What he
difference.
did.
Yep. And he
Yeah.
says, listen, I'll pay you fucking $20 million, but you're gonna do this and you're gonna do it by June 20th. You know, I can't do it. Yes, you can, or you're fired. You know what I mean? Like that's it. I'll get somebody else that could do it, you know, and it's just I read his daughter's book, man. Oh, that's a really good book. His daughter Lucy, the oh God. I mean Lisa, she oh God, what she went through. She's an amazing girl too.
I'm about to take that book out, bro.
Yeah, that's a good one. He, you know what happened with him? How he was just paying her like the minimum, right? Of like, because he wouldn't admit that she was his daughter, even though that it was proven scientifically with DNA and everything. Like he just wouldn't admit he's saying it was wrong and everything. And he was a billionaire, and he was giving her like $300 a month. His ex-wife with the kid and everything for a while.
Yep. I ain't gonna lie, I ain't know that, but that's fucking good.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
That shit crazy, bro.
yeah.
Like you be
He,
hearing people's stories and shit. You like,
oh.
damn, for real?
Yeah, it was. You should watch the movie. There's two movies about Steve Jobs. The first one is with Ashton Kutcher. That one's not really good. It's just kind of it's funny and easy going and everything. But then the one with Michael Fassbender, he got nominated for Best Actor for it. That one's good because he really tuned into him. If you watch some interviews with Steve Jobs and then you watch Michael Fassbender, you're like, damn.
I was always I was always impressed by Steve Jobs, like his
Oh, me
wisdom.
too. God,
Really looked
kidding
into
me?
like his I don't know. Especially at that time, it was more like,
How
damn,
can
that
you
this bad motherfucker. He was inspiring, but
how
I
can
just
you not be impressed by the guy's mind? How can you not be? Yeah, you can think he's an asshole. I do think he was an asshole. His personality, but that
uh,
doesn't mean I don't think he's amazing, right?
yeah, yeah. Or even Stephen Hawking, man. Like Stephen Hawking, I'm just so
That's another great
impressed.
movie. That's another one.
Yeah,
He won Best
yeah,
Actor for it. The British actor, the kid, great actor.
yeah, yeah. Stephen Hawking, man. That every time, like I feel like I have a high hurdle, bro. I think of Stephen Hawking. Man.
So what? Good idea.
I
Right?
always think of Stephen Hawking, man.
He
Like,
could do it like this. The theory of everything, right? His mind,
yeah,
shit.
man.
I'm more impressed by him than Einstein, to be honest with you. I mean, I'm
Mhm.
ex- I'm extremely impressed by Einstein, like how shit bends and span. But I'm more impressed by Hawking. Seriously.
Yeah, definitely more impressed by Hawking. Hawkins is one of those. I mean, the only way to say he a fucking dope, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Stephen Hawkins is a fucking dope. What you
Mm-hmm.
think about Neil deGrasse Tyson?
I don't. I'll be honest with you. Everybody tells me that his mind is amazing, and I don't know enough about him. I got to read about him because I like space and shit like that, and I just have the time to do it. But I got to dedicate, like a couple days a week, and just when I get home, I sit down and I read. But I don't know yet, so I'm gonna put that right here in the journal to remind myself to. I don't know enough.
I don't know. I think I kind of I don't know if it's like this new era, like how you can like just like he on a podcast, he got shows. So it's like sometimes when I guess a person is like unreachable, untouchable, you have a higher affinity to him. But since I start watching like his podcasts and stuff, now I'm like, I don't know. I still like him. I still think he a
Yeah,
genius. He's great. It's just
got
he
you.
wasn't what he was before.
Yeah, comparing him to
It-
other people like Hawkins, right?
yeah,
Like he's just not. Hawkins is Tom Brady, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like it's just
yeah.
like, I got you. I got you. I'll tell you one story. So I like to read dialogues in famous business meetings. When you can read
Mhm,
them, and the in 2000 and in the mid 2000s, right? Um, Steve Jobs, he came up with the iPhone and he got it to work. and then he went to the five cellular phone companies, because you remember back then there were five, right? There was Verizon, there was AT&T, there was Sprint, there was T-Mobile, and there was Nextel. Those were the five, and they were all separate companies, and all pretty large companies too. Um, so, Sprint bought what Nextel, and then T-Mobile bought
Okay.
both of them. So now we really only have three, and then all those little micro companies, right? But back then they were big, so it was big if you can get a deal with one of them. So he went to the board and the top brass from each one of those companies, and he pitched the iPhone to them. And you had gentlemen that graduated from Harvard Business School, magna cum laude, PhDs in person, and they couldn't understand, what he was saying. He'd say, no, 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 it's like a computer, but it's also a phone, and you're going to touch it with your hand. And he goes, we have that, the internet on the phone. He goes, no, 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 not like the internet now. Like you can go on Google and it'll come up and you'll play it. You're going to be able to play a movie on it. And they're like, but it doesn't make sense. The thing's this big, that sounds expensive. I just can't understand what you're saying. That's what people don't get when they don't give Steve Jobs credit. They don't understand that he goes to these intelligent people and they just don't, they can't even understand it, because you know what I mean? We can envision it. Now that we have it, it's easy to, understand it. But back then, right? Do you understand that moment? Like how, so the only company that said yes was AT&T. And T. And I don't know if you knew this, but the first 5 years of the iPhone was only AT&T. I don't know if you knew that or
AT&T.
not.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
knew that.
yeah, because I had AT&T and T, and my father got the phone. And I said, please let me play. You know what I mean? And he let me play with it and shit. And I was older too. Like I had my own stuff. I had a flip phone, but and I was fucking blown away, bro. Blown away. You know what I mean? You know what my dad said to me? You know what he said to me?
What?
He goes, wait till the kids learn you can watch porn on this thing. So my dad said to me. I said, wait, what? He said, yep. I said, shit. And you know what? The
Yeah.
Alexa, the Alexa ratings, right? That's the ratings for the top websites traffic. There's three of the top 10 are just porn sites, this WX video. Oh, shit. Nah,
Man,
but
I remember when that iPhone first came out. I remember when
oh,
it first came out.
me too.
Because my cousin, that's why I switched to AT&T. Because I think I was with Sprint at the time.
Everybody flipped,
Yeah,
everybody.
everybody put.
Big mistake business wise, right? These big gentlemen that are so
Mm-hmm.
smart, Mm. I love when
So
shit like that happens.
that's why I be telling people, man, don't just dream, bro. Try to put that shit into play. At least, you know what I'm saying? Like you
I
never
do.
know what's accomplishable, bro. You never
I'm all,
know.
yeah. My dream is like psychology. It's just all psychology and trying to, you know, uh, figure out ways to have, like let's say a seminar or change the way police are training. That would be the most amazing thing, to because to me it's just so obvious on how they act. And I don't want to get back into the police and drag you into that, but that's just my
Oh
dream,
no,
like
you
you
can.
said. No,
No,
I'm
you
liking what you're
can,
talking about. I like the way you're talking about inspiring people. I'll take a break from the 1A. The other one was Reed
bro.
Hastings. You ever see the Reed Hastings and John Anticon business meeting in 2003? Reed,
No.
Reed Hastings walks into the office of Blockbuster, right? Blockbuster was owned by Viacom. They were fucking massive. I think about Blockbuster. I worked there for 4 years, right? Think about a business, right, that makes money off of late fees. Think about that. That's just free. They call it NBA, nothing but air profit. NBA, nothing but air. It's just free money. Like, do you know how much they generated in fucking late fees for? You know what I mean?
I
Like,
can't even imagine.
it-
I know they hit, but I get they should, you know what it is. You fuck around and forget easily.
so I thought to myself back then, there's no way this company will ever, go out of business. And Reed Hastings walks into CEO John Anticon's office and he says, "Listen, Reed, my company, Netflix, you put the DVD in the mail and they send it to you, and then they put a queue in the internet, and I'm bleeding." And he was bleeding. He was losing $50 million each month, right? And he wasn't able to keep it up. And the problem is he envisioned streaming. Okay, he knew what was coming, and he was trying to explain that to John Anticon. He's going to say, "Listen, it's worth the investment. I'll sell you my company for." Oh no, wait, he wasn't losing $50 million a quarter, but he was losing money each quarter. Okay, and he was going bankrupt. And he said to John Anticon he'd sell him Netflix for 50 mil. And Blockbuster and Viacom, they were $1 billion conglomerate. Like 50 million, they could have bought it cash, right? With no. But John Anticon wasn't an innovator. He was a people person. Okay. You know what I mean? He said no to him. And the famous quote when Reed was walking out the door, John says, "Hey, Reed, you should change your company to Mailflix because it has nothing to do with the internet." You know, then 3G technology got perfected, and 3G technology gave us streaming. So the
Mhm.
guys, that was YouTube. YouTube, it came out when 3G was perfected. That's what 3G did for, technology, 3G technology. It's not just a cell phone thing, you know what I mean? So, and once that came out, then now you were allowed, you could watch it on the Wii and on your computer, and then all of a sudden, PlayStation, Xbox, smart TVs, your
Mhm.
phone, boom, everything just exploded when 3G came out. That was the biggest jump, man. Biggest jump. Oh, that's so funny.
Bro, and imagine, look at Blockbuster now, bro. Imagine, bro.
I know. It took less than 10 years and they went bankrupt. This fucking
Mhm.
I couldn't believe it. They were just fucking oh, couldn't
That's
believe.
how like I'm so like right now, bro. I thought the pandemic was gonna kill like movie theaters because you can just buy the shit at home. But I guess it's more the experience, having a
No,
theater.
that's a great point what you just said. So my friend pointed that out to me. That changed in 2019 during the pandemic, right? You said, and they changed the law, the MMPA, the Major Motion Picture Association. They changed the law that companies didn't have to wait a year, right, and more than a year till it came out. Remember, because it would come out on HBO, but not for like a year and change later, right? It came out on DVD, and then it wouldn't come out. But now it's they changed it from 14 months to I think 20 days, so some of those movies, right, you see only in theaters, but it's only for like 3 weeks, and then it comes out
Yeah,
in yeah. So
yeah. I
it,
just
it-
watched Superman the other day. I'm like, damn, this shit out already.
yeah, it's just up to the person. I personally love the theater with this new 3D audio, right, and with the sounds that are moving around but other people aren't into it. Most people aren't like
Yeah.
me, so I love cinema, man. So but I don't go to the movies as much as I used to. Yeah, I watch it on TV.
That's why my wife loved the cinema. I'm looking like, bro, I done bought all this shit. I got surround sound and
All right.
speakers through the house and shit. Like, my motherfucking bathroom got a speaker in it, bro.
Hell yeah.
Bluetooth. Like,
I
come
got the
on, man.
projector. I like the projector I got.
Yeah, bro.
Like
I
10,
got. I just think
10 feet.
we gotta. I ain't set my basement up yet, but my wife. When I told her I'm gonna, because I was gonna turn it into like, I got an office in my basement, and
Hmm.
then I got like a chilling area with a bar and everything. And I'm like, this gonna be my studio right here.
Hell
And
yeah.
then I was like, you know what? Fuck it, it's gonna be a family. So we're gonna get a little entertainment set up,
Yeah.
and I got a projector. Like my base, I was gonna use the other section for the theater area, but I'm like, I kind of want the projector right behind the bar.
Put the
And
projector in the ceiling. In the ceiling.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
so it comes down, and then you have the first row with the leather couches that recline, that have the cup holders, and then build a step behind it, and the same couches behind it with the leather steps. Like that's just an idea for you. So it comes up, you know what I mean? So they can
yeah.
see up. It'll look nice.
Because like the projector I got, I can watch the movies and shit too, but it got like they got like the background things too. That's why I wanted it behind the bar. Like I got a mirror
Hell yeah.
behind the bar now. I was like, I'd rather have like so we chilling watching a game or something. Have that shit right behind the bar. Like, it would look chill like
That's
that.
awesome, bro.
But
That's awesome. That's
yeah, man.
awesome.
Good. Man, bro.
Yeah.
Man, whenever you can come through, bro, please come through. I enjoy talking to you, man. But I'm gonna get my ass off here. I gotta
Yeah,
go
me
to my
too,
kids'
man.
school in the morning.
Let's
Kids,
take some.
like,
Let's take a nice nap, right? Close our eyes and enjoy the time we had, right?
yeah, man. Good conversations though, man. That's why I be popping up here, man. And then like I'm probably gonna be doing some behavior shows next month, talking
Oh,
about
that'd be
different
great. That'd be
personalities.
great.
Yeah, I'd love for you to come up and rock out with me, bro.
Yeah, yeah, I
I
would. I
love
mean,
that.
that's what I am. If I do that for a living, I'm a behavioralist. So that's my shit. That's what I like.
I love that. There's another young girl in here too. She focused psychology. I want to get all three of us on the panel and just
What's her
have
name?
discussions. But your logic, yeah, what is it? Your average logical thinker.
Cool.
She focused psychology too. And then
Oh,
shit,
that's awesome.
one day I'm gonna try to get my sister on her. She got her PhD in psychology. So
Oh,
that'd be
I
fun.
would love it. I would love to speak to him.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Um,
Oh yeah.
he more into like child psychology, like development.
Yeah, well, they'll teach me
Uh,
way more. They know way more than I do. You know what I mean? I would
yeah,
love to
like
hear that PhD in psychology. That's that's not an easy feat. Not at all.
man, he rocked out of the University of Michigan, man. Um,
Wolverine.
she a bad motherfucker, man. My sister bad motherfucker.
You ain't kidding.
He was
It's a
just in
great
it.
school.
He was just in the chat the other night.
It's a
And every
great
time I
school.
give her a compliment, she give me praise.
Hell
And I'm
yeah.
like, man, shit, you took it beyond what I. Good
You
shit,
know
my
what I want to
mom.
talk. You know what I
Oh,
want
go
to
ahead.
pick up. You know what I want to pick her brain about. So I've been into reverse psychology of late. Just researching and thinking different ways to interact with people, and like I was thinking about like when somebody comes up on this panel and like the other day someone was like, "Oh, why you got your avatar up? Why you so scared to cam on?" I said, "Why you so scared to cam down?" And he's like, "Wait, what?" And I'm
Mm.
like, "Cam down, bro. Why you so afraid?" And he's like, "No, no, no. This means I'm not afraid. Now you're afraid of camming down, bro. I can tell you're a little bitch. You won't cam down." You know what And he like didn't. I don't think anybody ever said that to him, and he like got thrown off, But like, I want to pick a brain about that. Do you know what I mean? It's like when you talk to the police with the phone, and they like say, "Listen, man, I'm gonna stand back from you, and you can't tell me to not stand back from you. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm not gonna bother you, and I'm gonna walk back 15 feet, and you're gonna like that I'm walking back 15 feet. Do you know what I mean? Because
Uh-huh.
the cop is like, wait, what? Wait, what the fuck is going? Because it's not about doing what he wants. It's just about that he's taken an order and he doesn't like it. So it doesn't even matter what the
Mm,
order is. Like, that's it, man. That's it. I want to leave it at that.
for sure. Like, yeah, yeah, that's interesting. So,
Yeah,
like,
right.
you are you
Do
trying to see like how it um how are people? It is like you said, it's not the fact what the order is, it's the fact that you're giving an order.
Correct, that they're not in
Um,
control. And this isn't about
yeah,
becoming a better person or anything because you're not really gaining it. You're just making the cop mad. But I'll tell you something. Some people can learn from how they feel. So, like
yeah,
you said, the purpose is he turns around, he sees an auditor with the light on and everything, and the auditor 99% of the time is going to walk more close. and he's gonna say get back, and he's gonna say I don't have to get back, I don't have to get back, get back. You know what I mean? So it's like
Yeah.
imagine you like I'm gonna get back, and you're gonna like it. You know, I'm gonna go all the way back 15 feet, and you're not gonna say anything, and I'm gonna see. You know what I mean? They'll still get angry. You'll still get the same response from him, whether you're doing what you want them to, he wants you to do, or not, because of you're just putting him out of control. That's
Yeah.
like, that's it. He just don't like it. And I want to
It,
talk to her
it,
about derealization too. I want to talk to her about that. I'd really like to.
mm,
Yeah, because I want to get into derealization. All right.
all right, brother.
Yo, thanks
Yeah,
for rapping with me, man.
I appreciate you, bro. I appreciate you coming up rocking out, man. I appreciate you.
All right, my man. One.
One. Yo, shout out to Athens, man. Shout out to Athens, man. Hey, man, this was I said I needed brain cells, and shout out to Chris and Athens because I love when people make me think. I just love it, and I love when people just build, bro. With like shit that we can actually like. I don't know if y'all into y'all know I'm into the psychology and behavior. So, like to me, that's always an addition to hear a different perspective on a concept, or uh, um, even hearing, getting a response from a concept or ideology. Hearing people's response to what I think and how I think a lot of time is an addition. It's not validation or nothing like that. It's just uh, and it gives me a more in depth way to think. So I appreciate that. That's why I love talking. Like I said, I nerd out. I apologize though I did get a little sleepy at the end. Um, start stumbling over my ideas. Yeah, I'll probably go. Great Matt. Yeah, man. Yeah, I love talking to him. That's why I say I'd be. It'd be. It's a different conversation too because like a lot of the psychological concepts he know, so I don't really truly have to water down. Or when he talk, I know what he's talking about. So even like when you talk about different philosophers, like I know the key concepts of their philosophy, so I kind of understand the ideology of um, so that's always refreshing when you can speak to someone uh, on the same level, or when you hear someone speak that's above your level, because you can always gain that. And like you said, he a behavioralist, so I can learn from him. Just like you say, he's interested in talking to my sister, he can learn from her. So yeah, that's dope, man. I enjoy that. I enjoyed that. But y'all know what I always say, man. Care about how you feel. These conversations create nation. If we say anything that resonated with you in this video,